Okay, so we got some good news for the Los Angeles Rams. They have hired Atlanta Falcons interim head coach Raheem Morris as their new defensive coordinator. Like I said before, he was the interim head coach of the Atlanta Falcons when Dan Quinn was fired in October of this past season after they started 0-5, and the Falcons were 4-7 under Morris, and they finished 4-12. He spent 6 seasons with the Falcons as an offensive and defensive assistant before he was promoted to the defensive coordinator job for the 2020 campaign. And it's not the first time that Raheem Morris and Sean McVay will be working together. Back in 2008, they were both coaches for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. McVay was an offensive assistant, and Morris was a coach of defensive backs. And before a stint with the Falcons, and after he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he spent time with the Washington football team and Jacksonville Jaguars organization. And this was reported by Lindsay 30 of ESPN. So, Mario, I'll start with you. What do you think of Raheem Morris being the new defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams?
I mean, first of all, congratulations to Raheem Morris on becoming a new defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. Look, man, I don't feel too comfortable about this. I don't. And the reason why is because I'm going to be honest, Atlanta's defense was a little bit up and down this year. It was a little bit of up and down this year. And so I don't really agree with them signing him. And I mean, wasn't he like a defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons too?
Yeah, he was a defensive coordinator before he became the interim head coach this past season.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing, though. He has experience in calling plays because you were the interim head coach. And I mean, I bet you had some type of calling plays in Atlanta as a defensive coordinator, but I just don't feel comfortable with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the whole connection thing with Sean McVay, but I feel like there could have been somebody better to grab. I really do. But I mean, again, I'm not. I wish him the best of luck. I really do. I wish that he has a very successful career as defensive coordinator. But I don't like that. I don't like it when a team goes from when a defensive coordinator goes from one team to another and keeps the same position. It doesn't make any sense to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna go to a different team, I want to be upgraded. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a defensive coordinator, I want to go to a team where I can be a head coach. If I'm if I'm like a defensive backs coach, I want to go to a team where I can become a defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? I want that promotion. I'm not gonna leave a team I've been with to go to a different team and keep the same job. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like you playing. It's like you. How am I supposed to explain this? It's like me being It's like suppose if I was like a secretary at a job, right? Unless I'm getting paid more, why would I leave that job that I've been with for so long, right? To go to a different job and keep the same position with the same pay. It doesn't make any sense. But like I said, the Los Angeles Rams, they do have a very good team. Obviously, their defense is very stacked with Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, John Johnson the third. Then you add Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore is a great corner. So Troy Hill. So I mean, when you really look at these guys, the Rams got a promising defense, and I mean, Leonard Floyd is a great example. They have a very great defense, and I mean, I'm curious to see how they're gonna be around Raheem Morris, but I think they could have did better.
Right, right. I get what you're saying. And I meant to say this before. He also coached with McVay in Washington. Um, McVay spent 7 seasons before he departed for LA, and Moore spent 3 seasons there as their defensive backs coach. So I mean, they know each other pretty well. And like you said, you're not comfortable with it. But I will say this: I'm not gonna say it's wrong, but I'm not, you know what I mean. But I'll say this: like you said, he's got a great defense surrounding himself. So what he's got to do is, I get the Falcon defense was up and down. It was a bit shaky, and it happens. But he's got to get comfortable with having an elite defense. This is a top five defense we're talking about in the league. So with that said, he's got a top five defense to work with. Now he's got to be comfortable with all these players. He's got to be comfortable with Sean McVay's play calling because he's the head coach now. And we all know Sean McVay is a really good head coach. He calls the right plays and all that. So he's got to get comfortable with that. I think he'll do a decent job if he starts to get comfortable with the Rams defense. I'm sure he will. Um, this is the time for him to prove himself. Like I said, top five defense in the league. Now you got to show up and show out. That's what you got to do. Like we always say, next man up, just got to survive, and that's what he's got to do.
Yeah.
And I trust that he can do that. And if he doesn't, then who knows what will happen next. But I think he's got a very, very elite defense in front of him, so there shouldn't really be any issues with that. He just got to get comfortable with the players, get to know them, what they're good at, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. Basically that. Strengths obviously work harder towards that, but as for weaknesses, like you always do, you got to learn more from your weaknesses so you can turn those weaknesses into strengths. That's what he's got to do, and that's what all coaches have to do, really. Um, so with that said, congratulations to Raheem Morris, congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams, and we're excited to see how this goes.